Hi everybody, this is Chef Paulette. That's at the 305 Chef or at Chef Paulette B. I'm here in my kitchen and several of my friends asked me if I would do some kind of Miami style recipe. So today I decided that I have this very favorite saying. It's called to be or not to be a vegetarian. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a vegetarian picadillo, Cuban style, and also one with meat. It's super easy. So to start out, I actually posted the list on Facebook. But if you need a list of ingredients, all you have to do is put a message and I'll send it right to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rough chop it first, because when we're doing a vegetable or vegan type of meal, we want to build flavors from the beginning. But what you have to do is you have to kind of create a sofrito. So in the Cuban tradition, you start with onion. And then what I did is I took a bunch of peppers, and basically I don't really care to have the seeds. So once I cut the peppers, I took these little peppers, I cut them in half, and basically I just break them in half and put them right inside. I have all different colors. I have orange, and see, I just take the stems, and not to have much waste, I just pull the stems off and I break them in pieces, because we're really gonna just rough chop these all together. I'm also gonna throw in cloves of garlic right here. I'm gonna put I'm making two, so I'm gonna make sofrito for one. So I'm putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna throw in some tomatoes in this case, because I have tomato paste, but I really like using fresh tomato. So let me just get some more of my beautiful peppers in here. So the sofrito is basically similar to when you're doing mirepoix, where you take your onions, your celery, and your carrots, and you put that in like a basic meatloaf. But in this case, we're doing this, and it's a more of a Latin style, and this is their base that they use whenever making any of their delicious meals. So I want to get some more red in here, because that's a great color and great texture. So I've got probably, I'd say about the size of one regular size pepper. In there I have a half of, it's a half of a onion that's very large, or in this case, it's actually half of a big sweet onion. So I'm using my food processor, and I always like to get a little liquid in there, so I'm just using some regular olive oil. I haven't put any seasoning. I'm going to go ahead, and while this is pulsing, I'm just going to be quiet for a minute till this pulses down, and then I'm going to get my pan started. I've got 2 pans. The left side is going to be the vegan, and the right side is going to be the one done with a 93.7% beef. Okay, so I've got both my pans going, and I want to get them a little preheated, so I'm putting a little olive oil in the bottom, just enough to cover the bottom. Maybe my photographer here can look and show you what's going on inside there. And if you look, my sofrito is not all the way broken down. The reason is that I really want to have some texture in both. And you're going to see is as this cooks, it's going to start to break down. So I'm going to use half of this, and I'm going to put half of this beautiful mixture that's got full of flavor. Remember, I have like 9 cloves of garlic, a couple different kinds of peppers. And I'm just going to add that to my olive oil so it can start to cook. Now, all of these flavors between the garlic, onions, and peppers are going to start marrying and making this beautiful flavor. Now, we don't want to caramelize them too much or get them too brown. So I have the heat down to like medium. Let me just put this over here. Be careful with your blade. I've removed my blade. I have it right here. Just be careful the kids don't get a hold of that. They're very sharp. So as you can see, I've right away got that going, and I'm going to reach over and I'm going to turn down my flame to sort of a medium low, because I got it nice and warm. And I'm just going to grab a spoon right here. I need 2 spoons, because one is for the vegetarian. This is my meat mixture. Turn it up just a little more. I'm going to get that all started to go, and so it cooks down a little bit. And this is my vegan side. I've added a little bit more of the vegetables to the vegan side since that's going to be the base to my delicious vegan. So some of the ingredients that we're going to use this, I'm not really promoting Green Giant, but I love a rice cauliflower that has been riced before. You can take whole cauliflower and rice it yourself, or just break it up as you go. While this is seasoning, I'm going to start to add a little bit of my red wine. I've got a little Coravin here, which I use because I like it, because I don't have to actually drink wine. I said in my recipe that I wanted to use white wine, but you can use white or red. And in this case, I'm putting this in to help add some flavor right in the beginning and start breaking down all those vegetables. The key to this is whatever wine you're going to use, please use a wine that you would drink. I don't recommend you buying some store-bought wine for, like a $2 chuck. If you wouldn't drink it, I wouldn't cook with it, is basically the way I look at it. So I've got this going. Now remember, there are no seasonings here yet. I'm just going to let this break down. And this doesn't take very long, but the longer you can let these start to cook, the more flavor you will have. So now I'm going to start adding my seasonings. So I have tomato, and I have pepper, and I have onion in both pans. I'm going to add a little bit of tomato paste in both. And that's just going to start building my sauce. And it's very nice. Now, I'm going to add some heat. And this is a ají amarillo. It's a yellow hot pepper. It actually is very hot. And I'm just going to add here, let me move my wine out of the way because you can see better. You might need that again. I'm just going to add a teaspoon and a half because that's very spicy, but the color is fabulous and it's really nice. I'm also going to add a hint of sriracha because the heat will really bring out all the flavor in the vegetables. Right now, I'm going to add half of my cauliflower to my vegan. I want half of it to be cooked because I'm going to create textures. The other half I'm going to add at the very end. At this point, I can start adding my meat again. This is a 93% beef and the other 7% is fat. You can use a higher fat content, but I prefer to go ahead and use it like this because basically I prefer it to not be as fatty and all the flavor to be in the vegetables instead of having a lot of fat. And you're going to see this just continues to cook, and just the meat is cooking with the tomato paste, and now this is cooking, and you're getting sort of your textures here in your vegan picadillo. So it's Cuban Picadillo. My friend Leonor Infante makes a delicious picadillo, and when they were all visiting me in Maine, their daughter Jenny asked me if I could make it vegan because she's vegan. I said sure. So since then I've been using this wonderful recipe in my house. The meat is there, the same. We have some of the cauliflower rice. I'm going to add some oregano to both pans. Now, one of the things that I really like is I like to add a little brine from the olives because it gives it a great flavor, and also add some salt. I will add a pinch of salt because especially on the meat, because the meat needs the salt for the flavor, and also for the cauliflower, a little pinch there also. Now remember, I did put the garlic 9 cloves, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a quick trick that I do. Let me see if I can do it right here. First of all, before I forget, let me get these carrots inside. I'm going to slice them really thin just for some more texture for my vegan side. I want to get them to start cooking. But again, that little bit of crunch will be really nice when the time comes when we're sitting down to eat that, and we're going to make rice. Now, if you haven't made rice in my house, what I always suggest is that you try to use a vegetable stock or a chicken stock or a beef stock, or use a little coconut water or something that has flavor instead of just using plain water. Because even though I live in Coral Gables and in Northeast Harbor, Maine, I can tell you that my water comes with no flavoring. Everybody laughs at me, but that's the God's honest truth. Got a little pepper. Pepper goes a long way, so go careful. You don't want to overdo it. I'm adding some of my favorite Morton seasoning because it gives a lot of flavor. I'm not sure what's going on there, but we'll just turn it over and we'll get a little bit here. And this is just some extra flavoring. It has a little celery salt and stuff. This is one of my favorites. I'm going to add some olives to my vegetarian, and I think I would like a few more olives into my regular picadillo with the meat. And it doesn't matter to put a little brine. Put a couple more olives in there. I've got some garlic, granulated garlic. Now you say, gee, she's putting a lot of garlic. But you're gonna see the flavors are really fantastic when you do that. Okay, so pretty much, I know it sounds a little silly, but that's pretty much what it takes to make it. And you just keep mixing this around. Now, traditionally, I said to put some raisins. I really didn't have any raisins, and I was thinking to put grapes, but unfortunately, I'm not the only one in the house. So the raisins and the grapes sort of went to the wayside, and I don't have them today to put in, but they're a wonderful addition to add. And so what I'm going to do is, since I don't have any grapes, I'm just going to add a little more tomato. I'm going to take out this piece here. I'm just going to add some pieces of tomato so I can have some more texture and make it sweet, because those tomatoes will cook down. Put those in this one, and I'm going to take the other half and put it in my other side. And we're almost done here. I know it sounds crazy that it could be this quick, but this is how quick you can make a nice, fresh, delicious dinner that not only will you love, but I think your kids will love it over some rice also. So let me give these both a stir. I just add those tomatoes in there for a little texture, because they're nice and sweet. They came from the farm down in Homestead. If you never had an opportunity to buy fresh vegetables from down on Homestead where I live, or at the farmers markets in Maine, you're missing out. These are organic white northern beans going right into my vegan picadillo. Mixing that up very nicely. It's looking great. I'm going to add the other half of my cauliflower. And I don't want that to cook too much, because I want that to have the texture of a little bit of a crunch. Just going to let that warm up a little bit. I'm going to add my almonds to finish it off, to make it so it's nice and crunchy. And let me tell you something. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more wine, because everything tastes better with wine in it. Finish it off to get a little more, and I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil. I think my cartridge ran out, but we'll just let it drizzle. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit more tomato paste over here, just to finish it off, and over here. And I think I've added everything. Now I'm just going to keep mixing. And as you can see, it's coming together very nicely. And the flavors. Now, just turn that down low. And let that continue to simmer. And I will tell you, I will take a taste of that in a minute to try it. And then you have this side. And I will tell you, this vegan picadillo is so delicious. And you have the fresh. And remember, at this point, you can add broccoli, cauliflower, eggplant, green beans, anything you want. And I will tell you that the flavors, remember, this is going to have a little kick to it because I added all those beautiful peppers. I'm going to taste it. Delicious. It's got a nice little heaty kick at the back. And this is the traditional style with beef. It's very hot. It's delicious. All I can say to you is that we're gonna be eating really well here at my house. We have the vegan side and we have the meat side. This is Picadillo, Cuban style from Coral Gables, Florida. This is the 305 chef. I hope you enjoy. Make your rice, brown rice, couscous, whatever you like. Make it, enjoy it with your family, be safe, and know, if you're cooking, I want you to cook happy. Thanks so much for joining me in my kitchen. Did anybody